Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 1997 third-round draft pick from the University of Arizona State, linebacker, Derek Smith. So,
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
no problem, man. So, tell the people where they can find you on social media or any other platform. I know you're probably not one of those guys, but would be nice to see where they can find you.
I think I'm Smedro50 on Instagram, but I really don't post a whole lot, man. And I'm not on. I think I might have a Twitter account, but I don't post anything on it. I just have it. I like to look like on Instagram. I like to look on hunting and fishing pages.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. Let me get right back in quickly. I think I had a little reception issue quickly. Let me get back quickly. I'll be right.
Yeah.
All right, much better. Okay, so where can they find you at social media again?
Oh, I'm on Instagram, but I really don't post anything. Very small presence there. I mostly just follow like hunting and fishing stuff. So maybe a few.
Okay,
people
so yeah, it's pretty much like after your playing career, some of them like to stay quiet and not really put much out there. But tell me about your playing days. Like, I know it all started when you went to American Fork High School in Utah, but what got you to go to Arizona State, if you don't mind?
Well, I didn't really have any good offers out of American Fork. I had I shouldn't say that. I had Southern Utah University, which is a smaller D1 school, but I felt like I was I don't know, I felt like I was better than that. So I went to I had an opportunity to go to a junior college, and the junior college had a pretty good reputation of getting guys D1 scholarships. Paul Tidwell was the coach at the time for Snow College. It was Snow College. So I went down there, played a couple seasons, did pretty good, and started getting some looks. And I think I don't know who all the schools were, but I know Arizona State was the very first trip I took. So from there, I went to Arizona State, took the trip. I think I watched them play UCLA. That was in '95. They got clobbered by UCLA, but I could see Jake Plummer was a quarterback, pretty talented guy. I saw that they had some holes. I saw that they had some potential, and it wasn't too far from where I grew up as far as getting home if I needed to get home. So I figured it was a good fit for me, and anyway, ended up taking a scholarship to Arizona State. Played a couple seasons there. Was fortunate to be able to play with a lot of those guys. One of them being Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman, we were kind of talking at pre-show a little bit. Just a super fun, free-spirited guy, just intense, passionate, just someone you love being around. And unfortunately, things didn't work out for him. That situation. And it's just unfortunate what happened there. And then from there, just anyway. I wasn't even planning on playing in the NFL. I just wanted to get my school paid for, and my coach toward the end of my senior season, we were having a pretty good season. He says, "Hey, you're going to have an opportunity to play in the NFL," and I said, "Oh, okay." I wasn't counting on that at all, and I didn't get invited to the combine, and just started working out, trying to get ready for our pro day. We had our school. We had Derek Rogers, Juan Roque, Jake Plummer. Tillman was still a younger guy. Anyway, we had a lot of guys that had a lot bigger names than me, and so it brought out a bunch of the teams. I think we had 31 out of 32 teams represented at that workout. Had a really good workout, and then from there, my stock just started rising, and ended up getting drafted in the third round, 80th overall to the Washington Redskins, and I don't know, I guess you say the rest is history, but it was pretty fun. It was my path. It wasn't a planned path, and just kind of, I love the game of football. I love playing. I kind of used it as a tool to get my school paid for, and from there it blossomed into having a career and being able to provide for my family. So
Okay, so what was it like when you first came into the league with the Washington Redskins? What was your experience like?
Well, man, I swear I looked like a little kid. So Ken Harvey was one of the starting linebackers with me, and Marcus Patton was the other starting linebacker. And I think both of them had more muscles in their face than I have in my whole body. So those guys were like chiseled, ripped, both good players, both, older, veteran guys. But, they took me in and helped me out. And it was just, when I first showed up to training camp, it was, if I won like half of my reps, it was a good day. And it was just, I just remember it being like so freaking competitive and so tough. And like everyone's like, when I was at ASU, I just like, when I'm at practice, I'm like, if I lost a rep, that's a bad day. I mean, I'd win every, and I'm saying just like personal battles, getting off blocks, making doing what things I'm supposed to be doing. I got to the pros, and it's like, man, it's another level. It was just like, it was fast, um, competitive. And when I first came in the league, it was a lot. They had like true 2 days. I mean, banging the crap out of you. Uh, I don't know, but I ended up getting through it, and it was fun, and just kind of rolled with it, man. I mean, it was cool.
Okay, so you were just going through that learning experience, but when you got to be a free agent, what was other teams besides the 49ers who were interested to you? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure in free agency you have options, but why did you pick the 49ers?
Seattle was really looking at me, but Levon Kirkland had just got let go by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he had he'd been a pretty big name, pretty big guy. I think he started getting a little bit heavier though, maybe losing a little bit of speed, but I think they ended up taking him because he was more established, and uh, Bill Walsh was really like me at the 49ers. And then so I would say it was New Orleans, um, Seattle, and the 49ers were the top prospects. And my wife was originally from California, from San Diego. So San Fran just ended up being a good fit. And they're the ones, I mean, I think it was down to, so Washington offered me to stay. So I could have stayed at Washington. I just felt like with the new ownership with Snyder in there, and there's this guy named Vinny Serrato who he didn't like me. And so I felt like that wasn't a good long play staying there with him. I felt like he would have probably got rid of me in a couple of years or something. I don't know. And then I didn't really know anything about New Orleans and the weather in New Orleans. I do not do good in that muggy, humid, hot environment. It was not good for me. So just all around weather-wise, opportunity, um, it just worked out with the Niners. So
Okay, so when you first signed with the 49ers, what was that atmosphere like when you came to Candlestick Park?
trying to remember. Well, your first. I mean, so they had the facility is where the stadium is now. It was a practice facility, and they had Candlestick. Um, I can't remember what my first game was. Maybe it was Atlanta. I don't know if Vic ended up playing that game or not. I don't think. No, he wouldn't have. I don't know. Anyway, it was fun. I think the first 2 years I was there, we were actually pretty good. Um, Jeff Bulbrick, he's the D coordinator for the Jets now. He was one of my buddies with the team, and like you said, lots of personalities on that team. Terrell owns Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia lives down here in Southern California where I live. His son he's actually coaching in the same organization I'm coaching in. I think his son's U10 or U12. I don't know. But anyway, lots of good dudes. Ray Brown, one of the guys there. Jeremy Newberry, Ulbrich, Brian Young. He's just John Engelberger. I don't know. Lots of good guys. You come in, get out there, and you go to training camp. I think our training camp was up in University of Pacific in Stockton, and you just start getting to know guys there and start building chemistry with your teammates. You know, you're working against guys every day. You're working with guys every day, battling with them. And then, you know, you go out and you play your game and you get a victory together. And it just, I don't know, it's awesome. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it must be because especially when you get a chance to get a change of scenery and you get to check out a different environment, it probably got you to think differently. Like, hey, I feel appreciated over here instead of over there. You know, sometimes you get a bad taste with one team, but you did enjoy your first time with the other team. But then you got to go to the Niners, and you just felt a different vibe, different personality. But as far as this is a big fan of yours, man. Panora has been talking about you. He said, "Hey, I want to see this guy on the show for once." And I said, "Okay, I'll see what I could do." And guess what? You're just here. You're here.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Panora. He's a big fan of yours. But
that's awesome,
and
man.
also, yeah, like even as a kid, I remember like just seeing you like always number 50, and you would always be the guy making some plays, especially against Sean Alexander, man. When this guy was a dominant running back, but for some reason you would always catch him at a good time, or you would just seem to give him some issues. What was it like playing against? What was it like playing against him?
Yeah, he was a good running back, and I think I did have some good games against him. Just some good high number production games. For whatever reason, I don't know. In conference, kind of rivalry. It was cool. It was fun. I love it.
Yeah. So, who was the toughest running back you had to tackle when you played against him?
Oh, so when I was with the Redskins, we played. So I played against Barry Sanders probably towards I don't know how many years he played after that, but man, Barry Sanders, I came through the hole one time. I don't know if I was a first or second year guy, and man, I thought I had him dead to rights, and I think I ducked my head for 1 second. I literally look over, and he's already 10 yards away from me over on the sideline, getting tackled by one of my teammates, Greg Jones from Colorado. And I was just like, holy shit. I'm just like, that guy is the magic man for sure. I mean, he was just like, and he was gone, man. It was just like, woo. So Barry Sanders was hard to just catch. I remember one guy, Bam Morris for Baltimore. That was my rookie year. That guy was just a big beefcake, man. I was hitting the wall my rookie year, torn down physically, emotionally, mentally, like just worn down. And they threw like an angle pass out of the backfield to him. I remember coming up and hitting him, giving everything I had, and just bouncing right off him. Got a stinger. That's just like. But I was a little bit worn down and stuff like that, and I came back after that game. I ended up finishing the year pretty good. But Steven Jackson. That guy was a horse, man. I love that guy's. He runs hard, strong. He's got good vision. Steven Jackson. I'm gonna try it. I wonder. I'll say Steven Jackson. I'll give him the reins and say he was the biggest horse.
Oh, especially from what I heard, Mike Rupp told me that he was the toughest running back he ever had to tackle, and he got hurt. That's how much of the he said. Yeah, Mike Rupp told me about that. I was the toughest player he had to tackle was Steven Jackson, and Jamie Winburn would agree with you 100% on that one. It's like they say he was a beast.
Oh,
but
he was a beast, man. So we had one game we were playing against them, and they were killing us. Or I don't know, we were just down, and I usually am not like a dirty guy or anything like that. For whatever reason, I was frustrated on the bottom pile, and I kind of grabbed his ankle and twisted a little bit, and then just like that's not even like me. And he gets up and he's just like, "What?" He's like, "Was that you, Smith?" He's like, "That's some bullshit." So we call like a zone blitz on the next play, and they run basically where I have to. I'm not man, but it ends up being man because they run the other two defenders off. So it's him and me in the flat, a little toss pass, and I have tons of space, so I got to make an open field tackle on him. And so I just wanted to get him down. And this guy didn't even try to juke me. He was just pissed. Man, he ran my ass over so bad. But I got him down. But I think because I basically just tripped him. I mean, it was just like he was
Yeah, you
pissed.
gotta do what you gotta do to make a play.
He was coming for payback. So rightly so. That was kind of a dick move that I did anyway. So, but I usually wasn't like that. I don't know, for whatever reason that game I was frustrated.
Yeah, people have their days. You were probably just frustrated at the fact that you couldn't get this guy down, and you probably say, you know what, I'm gonna trip him.
No, I
And that's
wasn't even.
simple.
I was just. It was a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and there was just a pile. I don't know why I did that. I don't know. So every now and then I did some weird, like, wasn't me type stuff. Like one time I hit. There was a referee. We were playing the Saints, and there was a referee in my way. Man, I didn't even try to get out of it, like go around. I went up and smacked him right in the back, pushed him down. But when I came to my locker on Monday, I had a FedEx package in my locker, FedEx envelope, and usually that FedEx envelope means you got a fine. I opened it up, and I don't know whether it's been today, but at the time it was $25,000 fine. I ended up getting it reduced to because he was kind of in my way. I mean, it wasn't really like that much of in my way, but every now and then I did dumb shit like that. But for the most part, I was a pretty good dude out there.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good things about what they said about you. Like you were like one of those nice, encouraging teammates, and Jamie Winborn just has a lot of nice stuff to say about you. Same could be said about Mike Rupp also. That like they say you're just a really nice dude, really chill guy, but you can be really motivated to those guys too. So that's what they like about you.
Oh, that's good, man. I like Jamie a lot. He's a good dude. Mike Brook, who's Mike Brook? I don't know names very good.
He was a cornerback like from the 2000. He was from Miami that you guys drafted in
Oh,
2002.
Rump.
He
You said
was
Mike Rump. I thought you
yeah,
said Brook. I thought you were saying Brook.
no
No,
Rump
I love Mike,
Rump.
man. Isn't Mike coaching for Miami?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Mike was a good dude. I haven't talked to him forever. I see him a little bit on maybe Facebook or something every now and then. But I'm just kind of down here in my own world, man. Raising my kids. Actually, my oldest is off to college now. He's at Wake Forest, and I got a daughter. She's a junior, and then my youngest is in 8th grade. So I don't know. I just kind of put my head down. I surf a lot. I hunt. I fish, and I play a lot of pickleball.
Yeah, but so I guess Gavin was asking who is your favorite linebacker of all time if you didn't have to include yourself.
Man, I always really liked Derek Brooks' game. He's a good dude, and his game. He was just. I like Derek Brooks a lot. He's a solid guy and just an explosive player. Trying to think if who's that? There's another guy too I like playing. I can't remember his name. He was from Georgia Tech. He's a white guy. Brooking, maybe
Keith
what's his name?
Brooking. Yeah, Keith Brooking.
Yeah, I like Keith Brooking's game a lot too. And then Ted Johnson, I always like watching him. I just like the thumpers, Brooks could thump you, but he was so much more than just a thumper. He was an athlete, good coverage, smart. To me, I thought Derek Brooks was a total package type guy.
Oh yeah, like he seemed like the kind of guy that you could build your defense around. But I guess for some of them, they didn't know what it was like. What was it like when you were playing as a teammate with Pat Tillman in college? Like, what was he? What was he like when you got to play with him together on defense? Like, he was asking that
Oh,
question.
he was intense. Just like any great player, when he's out on the field, he's passionate, intense, high energy. He had a knack for being around the ball. Just had a nose for the ball. Just great anticipation on making plays. Getting picks. He was a guy that could. I was never a really good guy at getting picks, but like Pat, he could anticipate quarterback to take the proper angles, cut guys off, and stuff like that. And but super fun on the field, super fun off the field. We'd usually go pal around, some of the bars and stuff like that. And he was just a high character guy. It's funny, we used to go to Camp Tonzona up in it's up in the White Mountains in Arizona, and they had this like cliff little thing down by this river that had this deep pool. You know, everyone's jumping off, and here comes Pat. He's doing like backflips and shit off of it. It's just another level guy, you know. He's just out there, and I don't know. He's kind of, I don't know if he's a hippie, but I mean he's kind of just like a free spirit type guy, you know. Definitely just danced and to his own drum, but you know, anyway, he was good. He was fun to play with. Fun in the meeting room. He's the guy. So our coach Lyle Setensich was a great linebacker coach. Probably one of my best linebacker coaches I've had. But he'd always challenge you mentally, and Pat would always say things that I'd be like, man, I don't know if I could say that to him. I don't know if I could say that to Coach and get away with it the same way Pat did. He just had a way of saying things that would just be like, people would just kind of like, they'd question it, and I mean, it wasn't like disrespectful or anything, but I mean, I don't want to say questioning like authority. I don't know. He just.
Yeah, I mean, he must have been a really fun person to be around.
He just didn't get. Is this? Can I swear or no? He didn't get an F. I won't say it, so I'm gonna make you bleep it.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's another question. Any interesting Terrell Owen stories?
Any interesting? Who? Oh, Terrell Owens. No. I mean, so he was my teammate. No, I don't want to talk any smack. No, he did. I did one time after he left the Niners. We played Philadelphia, and I made some statement to the press. So it was. I don't want to say what I said, but I mean, it wasn't anything too bad. But I mean, then they made some big deal about it, and then it was like, I'm going into Philly, and all the fans just like, fuck you, thanks, man, and all this is funny. But T.O., I think he was a man. He's a guy having on your team where he's just a difference maker, man. He'd go out there, and you always knew you had a chance when you had a guy like that on your side. So he's a great player. I didn't know him on a personal level, really. He was a great player, though.
Oh, definitely. Like, he just had the passion and everything, and he was one of those guys that influenced me into the team in general. But like, yeah, he was exceptionally entertaining to watch. But you would hate to play against him. That was the kind of guy. But okay, so this guy is asking another question. One of your biggest fans again, Brian Oregon. He says, "How was it meeting Patrick Willis for the first time? Any impressions, and how did you give him any advice?"
Oh, Patrick, man, that kid is just. I shouldn't say that kid. That he was respectful. Patrick was everything, man. And just watching him out there a couple times, you could just tell he's going to be special. There was like two guys watching in practice where you're just like, holy cow, this guy is explosive. He's going to be special. The first guy was Frank Gore. That guy, when I first saw him come, I was just like, this guy's going to be amazing, special. And then Patrick Willis, just great work ethic, super respectful, just great physical talent, but studied the game, just continually always trying to get better. I would have liked to see him play a few more years, man. That guy was just so good. And I saw him at the NFC Championship game as well 2 years ago, and it was great seeing him. He's just a good person, you know what I'm saying? It's just always good playing with him. And so I was calling the defense at the time. Patrick was, so I was playing the mic, and they were having him playing the will, which is the weak side inside linebacker, which is probably usually more of an athletic type of guy, but Patrick could thump too. I think they're just trying to find the best combinations of guys that they had on the roster. But getting him, he was always a little bit, hey, what's up, Jace? Soft-spoken and stuff like that. And for him, like calling the plays and stuff like that in the huddle, of just I don't know, just tell him, okay, you got to speak up a little bit, you got to articulate it a little bit. But anyway, Patrick was he's a special player, man. He's a
Yeah.
good dude. I really like him a lot. He's awesome.
Yeah, he just has that rare talent. Like it's a generational talent that you don't find around
Oh
much
yeah,
often. But
yeah.
yeah, like
He's just special. I mean, just watching how fast he could make a play, like get from point A to point B, but how powerful he could be when he got there too. So, man, that he's a special player. So he's
yeah,
maybe
definitely, man. Like
what's that?
yeah, he was definitely a special player. It's just unfortunate his career was cut short with a turf toe. This guy could have had a little bit more of a promising long career, but I still think he'll even get in the Hall of Fame at some point. But here's a question that might be intriguing. Who was your friends list with in the 49ers locker room? Like, who were the ones that you got along the most and you hung up with the most?
So Jeff Bulbrick was always my best buddy in the locker room. His locker was always right next to mine. And then my linebackers like Jamie Winborn, Julian Peterson, those guys were always Brandon Moore. I don't want to feel like I'm leaving anybody out. Cornelius Anthony, he was a good guy. But the O line, I was always pretty good buddies with the O line too. So for whatever reason, Eric Heitman, he's always good. Kyle Kozier. Um, the centers when I was with the Redskins, Corey Raymer. I still reach out to him. Still keep in contact with him. It's yeah, I don't know. But Jeff, I would say Jeff was probably my best buddy. So
Oh, so Jeff Ulbrich, yeah, interesting that this guy's becoming a coach on the defense too. So, like, okay, I guess Gavin's asking a pretty interesting question for you, Derek. Are you happy with the way your career panned out, or would you go back and change anything?
yeah. Um yeah, for the most I was pretty happy with the way things turned out. I don't, I don't know what I could go back and change, to be honest with you. Maybe maybe the very last play in my career was a personal foul for roughing a receiver when I was in Miami. Actually, going to Miami, I didn't really care for that experience there. But as far as my career, I felt like it. I felt like it went as good as it could have gone. So
Well, I mean, it's like you had really much the opportunity to play in the NFL, and not many could say I played a long career. So it's like a guy like you's played for 12 plus years. I mean, dude, you were living the life, man. Most people who wanted to play football would wanted to be in your shoes. But
yeah,
in all pers-
I was playing a little kid's game and getting paid for it, man. Getting paid well. So I mean, it
yeah,
was every now and then you're out there and like when you have that when we have that 2-14. Uh, when we have that record, it's just like you're out there and you're grinding. I did have a few times where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And then I just thought to myself, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm out here. I'm outside. I'm out playing a kid's game. I'm getting paid really well for it. It's like, I mean, I did a few. It's like anything. You get times where it's a grind, but then you have to just really take a step back, and you be like, anything that you want to be good at is going to be a grind in life, right? You're gonna have to put in the time, you're gonna have to put in the effort, you're gonna have to work at it. So it's just like I feel like I felt like my career was as good as I could have made it, and it was fun, man. I had a really good time.
yeah, definitely, man. Like you just lived it, and most people can just give you words, like give you credit. But the problem is, you didn't get enough Pro Bowl recognition. There was times where you could have been in discussion, but like you said, you were in the different tier level, so that's understandable. So sometimes you don't get much talk about, but when you're on the field, you make the plays, and that's what matters. I guess Gavin's asking you another question, but this one's there. Who's your favorite current 49er, and why is he? I don't. He hasn't even said the name yet, but come on, let's see who your favorite current player.
He
Why?
said one. He said yeah, it looks like he's talking about Warner, the middle
Yeah,
linebacker. Now I
yeah.
haven't watched him a lot, but man, he just I read a few things here and there, but it sounds like he's one of the better guys in the league right now, and man, good for them for having him. I love it, and they took care of him, and that's good. I know John Lynch a little bit. I used to train with him toward the end of my career, and he grew up down here in Southern California. And John's a smart guy. John's a football guy. So for John to pay him and reward Warner for his talents and the potential that he sees in his future, then I think if John sees that, then he must be a great player. But that guy Bosa was pretty electric. Watching him, just hopefully he can stay healthy this year. Kittle is he's a big personality, but just loves the game, loves to get after it, loves to, the guy is just out there competing. You gotta love that stuff. Those hard-nosed guys that are out there competing, they're getting after it every play. Those are good guys to have on your team. I think they got a pretty good squad this year. Hopefully they can, go out and win a bunch of games this year and get it done.
Yeah, I think with a healthy team, I think we can be really good. Like 2019 kind of speaks for itself. When we had a very healthy squad, we would be the kind of team that would make a strong push and make it to the deep into the playoffs and at least get further, if not even further. But some would say, yeah, it's always been the durability issues. I think it's a lot to do with the fact that we have our facility in Santa Clara, and a lot of the turf has been the issue with a lot of the players for quite a while. Like since we moved from Santa Clara, I guess they could say it's like a little bit of a voodoo or something with the injuries, man. Hasn't been really nice
before too. You saying with those power poles around and stuff like that or something? What is
yeah.
that? Is that
No,
what
like
you're talking about?
or the turf or something, like whatever the turf they're playing on, it's kind of like it's led to a lot of injuries with a lot of the players we got. It's like the training staff has been a little bit of an issue, and it's like I don't know. It's like ever since we left San Francisco, the Candlestick Park, it's kind of been like a little. Even though the facility was in Santa Clara, but it just didn't feel like the same exact way as home. They just a lot of these players who just go to practice, sometimes they get injured, non-contact, they're out for the season. It's like you can't catch a break.
I don't know. I hope they catch a break this year. I hope they have a good year. I hope.
Yeah.
It's tough when you always have these this quarterback drama going on. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, they just put the team in the best situation to win. And I don't know. I saw Steve Young came out and they're like, start Trey Lance. Now I haven't been paying too much attention to it, but I didn't really watch. I'm sure the kid's gonna be a freaking stud, and I don't know what's going on with Garoppolo or how he did in the preseason. Did you watch any of the games? How did he do?
He did solid. He did decent. Like he did like what he was supposed to do. Like he had better completion passes in the preseason, but we're talking like one or two series, but he did good enough. Okay, so he's asking you this question: Did Shanahan do the right thing, trade up to get Trey Lance?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It depends on what.
It's hard to say. Yeah.
Depends on what the kid goes and does. If he goes out there and I don't know. Maybe he becomes your franchise guy or maybe he's a bust. I don't know. We'll see. The proof is in the pudding. You can't tell until he goes out there and gets in the live fire, and we'll see what he does. They say he's got big cojones. They say he's got big potential, like physically and mentally, and you hear all the right things. So it's just I saw a few of his throws on Instagram on the NFL stuff. Look pretty good, to see how his vision is, how he's able to go from, read defenses and go from 1, 2 to 3, the third guy. I hope they did make the right decision.
Yeah, I hope so, because you're giving up, you're investing a lot, and then okay, I guess Prinor just wants to get your autograph at some point, man. He wants to get that signature off of your name, man.
What's that?
He's a big fan of yours. He's talking about like how he says, damn, I have to get your signature one day for my linebacker collection. You to kill Spikes and later Ray Lewis, and then he talks about Patrick Willis. And I guess he's been asking for you, man. He's been asking for you for a while. Like, hey, when are you gonna get this guy as your guest? I told him, I'll let you know, bro.
That's cool. Well,
Yeah.
how did you get into this? How'd you get into doing the I don't know, the
Oh,
interview
YouTube.
one? And,
I've done it for like at least almost a year,
uh-huh.
and I'm starting to do a little bit different stuff. You know, like I started like my first actual interview was with Mike Rump, and then I started with Jamie Winborn. I started collaborating with other like YouTubers from within my fan base and within our division and within other teams' perspective, and
Yeah.
that's how I've been building my brand. A lot of these, yeah.
Well, cool, man. That's awesome.
Yep, that's pretty much. Oh, yeah, yep, Billy, that's the same guy. That's number 50. That's the guy who played linebacker. You guys want to ask
What's he
questions? He'll
saying?
answer you the question. No, this guy's asking me, yo, what up, CG? Ain't this the dude who used to play for us? He's kind of catching on, but yeah, Trey Lance is going to show up this year. But anybody's got any more questions, they can ask. But it's like I think they're starting to come in now. They're getting pumped up because you're in the building.
Sweet.
Now it's getting
Well,
traffic now.
go Niners, baby.
Yeah, go
Let's hope
Niners,
the
man.
Niners
But
get out there and get done this year.
yeah, hopefully. But what was his best moment as a Niner? What was your best moment? I guess from this Broncos fan. I guess he's just asking because you're a Niner.
Best moment as a Niner?
Yeah, your best
Well,
moment.
signing there was one of the best ones, and re-signing my other deal was a really good one. Okay, defensively, football wise, I'll say. So we played Philly. I think it was in 2001, and I can't remember. They call it the stand. We had like I don't know. We held them to like third and long. Then also we got a penalty, and then we held them like three more times. I ended up getting a pick on that to get out of that situation, and we ended up going. I think we ended up winning the game 10-6 or something like that. But that was the highlight. Definitely, the stand against Philadelphia is probably that one comes to mind. So.
Yeah, and I guess this guy's asking the opposite question. What was your worst moment as a 49er? I'm guessing the 2-14 season, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think personally what my worst moment was. Oh, well, my whole what was it, 2006 season? Man, I got that eye injury, and it sucked because I'm out there playing the whole year, like seeing double, and nobody knows this, so they just think, oh, this guy like lost a step. He's not making plays anymore. I'm just like, man, I'm out here. I should have went on IR. That was my worst moment, having that eye injury, and I still see double in certain fields of view, like up and over to the left. So that was super challenging. That was my worst. That was my worst year as a Niner for sure. It was challenging playing because I couldn't see, my eyes didn't see stuff the way that I was seeing it my whole career. So I was like maybe a half a second to a whole second slower on my reads, and that hurt me a lot. And I guess just playing out there and not having people not being able to really understand like how this was affecting me. So it was just affecting everything in my game. But I just stayed quiet, kind of. They kind of they knew something was up, but I don't think they knew to what level. So that was definitely my low light, dealing with that eye injury shit. So.
Yeah, sometimes you have your ups and downs, but as far as your career, man, you can just have something to put your head up high because you come from a small town called American Fork, Utah, and people would have just never thought you would at least get to the pro, but you didn't even thought about going to the NFL. You were focused on college and all that stuff, and then once you said you were going to get drafted, man, like it's kind of like a dream come true. You didn't even expect it. That's how you know you're going to be good if you don't even expect it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. Kind of, I don't know. Like I said before, as good as it could have for me. So.
Okay, I guess Billy's asking. No, I don't think he is in the Hall of Fame. I think he's just like the one of those players that should. I mean, maybe the Niner Hall of Fame. I think he should get into
No,
the Niner Hall of
no,
Fame.
no. It's like, no, that's super nice. I appreciate that. But it's like, I think you got it. Like, I was never that much. I was never that much of an impactful guy. I mean, to be Hall of Fame, you have to be like a franchise impactful type of guy. Where like, I would think that Patrick Willis will be. I would say that he's a Hall of Fame linebacker. Um, I would say that I was a really good linebacker, but I'm not a Hall of Fame. I was never a Hall of Fame linebacker. I mean, I was just a really good, solid, work hard, show up. I mean, you knew exactly what you're going to get out of me as a coaching staff. I was going to know the game plan. Wasn't going to make a lot of mental mistakes. Wasn't going to make a lot of playing mistakes. I was going to pretty much do what I need you to do. So, I mean, I was good, maybe really good, but not Hall of Fame good. So.
Okay. That's kind of like you're just a humble guy, but you felt like you were just a guy that just came here to do your job and just do it at a high level. So, what if one day that the Niners do call you one day and you get a call to get into the Hall of Fame of theirs? Would you even be honored by it,
that,
or would it just be by?
that would be super nice, but I doubt that's gonna happen. But that'd be cool. But, like I think
Yeah.
Brian Young just got put in the Niners Hall of Fame, and he's a guy that I think of as a Hall of Fame type of guy. I mean, Brian Young that guy was a beast, man. He was just, and he wasn't a real vocal guy either. I mean, he's a guy where I think if maybe, I mean, you almost have to market yourself a little bit, and through celebration and like, I think that stuff definitely helps as far as building your brand and just hyping up who you are. But he's a guy that didn't do that. He's just a guy that, I mean, his play was the proof in the pudding, man. Brian Young, he was an impressive dude all the way around. So.
Yeah, Brian Young was really like. There's a lot of good stories about Brian Young. I'm pretty sure you got to be a part of those type of like stories where he kind of like had those moments with you and say, "Hey, this is what you should have did," or maybe he might have just encouraged you in some other way. Any stories of Brian Young?
No, he's just always a very positive, very encouraging, compassionate, not self-serving guy who you knew that he was there for the right reasons. He was just, you knew that this guy was going to do everything that he could on the field and off the field to help the organization and the team. And if you have a locker room full of Brian Youngs, you're going to be okay. You're going to be pretty damn good. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. To no one, I think he said Steven Jackson. If you look up, he did say Steven Jackson earlier, and he said like, I mean, he did say Steven Jackson was like probably like the hardest running back yet to tackle, right?
Yeah, Steven Jack. That's so I was saying like Barry was obviously like tough to even catch, but like Steven Jackson, as far as like a physical, elusive runner, was I would say I would give my star and I would pin it on Steven Jackson as far as that goes.
Okay, so I guess this is a weird question, but what was your best purchase you made after your second contract? What was something that you got to get out of it?
I don't even know, man. I never really made a lot of. I think I did buy a truck. I bought a big F-250 like diesel whatever. I got kind of tired of it, but I'm not. I don't know. I didn't buy a lot of shit. So.
And you were just those kind of guys that save the money and invest a lot. That's smart in a lot of ways. Most players spend a lot of money just because they got a lot of money out of it. But I guess probably Nora is just telling you like it is. Hey, you don't need the Hall of Fame. You're my dude Derek's in the NFL, Street Madden, all that stuff. The video games, you were on those video games, man. Like I remember playing those video games as a kid, dude. I would play these NFL games, and you would be right on there, dude. Like they would even put an overall rank, what is it, rating on you. And I
Yeah.
think you were in between the 79 or the 80
I
ranked
think
or
the
something
highest
like
I
that.
got on that was I think I broke the low 90s toward the end of my career.
Somewhere around there. There was quite a few of those, yeah. But I remember like in those later games, you were like in between that other percentage. But I think I've seen you up in those high rates.
You're kind of like cracking. I don't know why. It's like kind of like staticky.
I guess we got this guy who's from Utah himself, like he said. He says, Derek, are you still enjoying this Utah nature or air, or are you living somewhere else?
I live in San Diego, but I love Utah nature. I love the mountains up in Utah. I'm taking my son. My son's taking he drew a youth elk tag in Utah, so I'm actually gonna have him miss some of his. I'm gonna have him miss a football game, and he and I are gonna go up and chase elk for a week up in Utah. So yes, I still Utah's my roots, and they run deep, man. I'll always love Utah. So
Yeah, never been out to Utah, but what is it like out there? Is it like really like fun outdoors out there or no?
oh yeah, big time outdoor stuff. Well, y'all obviously have skiing. Utah's big skiing, but they have all the national parks. You have Zion, which is more desert stuff like that. But the high mountains, they have the high Uintas up where the 90-degree angle part where Wyoming sits in there in that part of the state. The high Uintas is kind of a wilderness area. It's beautiful. If you like the mountains and stuff like that, like high mountain lakes, just really, really, really diverse climates in the state as far as you get the high mountain with the pines and the aspen, then you have the red rocks and like Lake Powell. If you've ever been to Lake Powell looks like you're on Mars maybe, and you're in this beautiful lake. It's anyway, I love it. I think it has a lot of cool stuff to offer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's probably like one of those best outdoors to go to, or maybe go camping, or maybe something to where it's a lot chill and cooler. But which is like the hottest weathers in Utah that I've heard of?
Well, St. George is like Arizona. It might as well be like Arizona. It gets up to like 115 and stuff like that. And then in the summer, it actually up where I grew up in Utah Valley area, it actually gets pretty hot. But I mean, it's like 90s. The sun's like super intense there too. It feels like you're cooking, man, on that thing. But you just go to the lake, go water skiing or something, wake surfing, wakeboarding, whatever.
I guess Parnor is asking another question. You ever taken down elks yet, or what's your biggest game you've hunted so far?
Yeah, I have. I shot in 2018. I drew a tag for Utah, and I got a pretty good 6x6 in 2018 up there. So
Yeah.
oh, my battery's dying. How much longer do we have?
We can just end it if you want to, man. It's up to you. But as far as all that, man, I definitely appreciate you onto the show. Hopefully, in the near future, we can collaborate on your free time if you choose to, man. But you definitely got some good storytellings, and I appreciate your time when you got to play with the 49ers, man. Like growing up as a kid, number 50, man. Whenever we need to make the play or make the game-saving tackle, this guy would be the guy to save the day.
Oh, thanks, man. I had some good times there. Played with some good players, Julian Peterson, like you said, Jamie Winborn, Rump. I love playing with Rump. A lot of those guys are good guys, man. I wish I could see them more. I need to start. They do the alumni weekend, and they were doing it before COVID, and I need to start getting more involved with that stuff and kind of getting plugged back in so I can start, seeing some of those guys and staying connected. So.
Yeah, man, most definitely, man. Appreciate it, man. Hopefully this ain't the last we can collaborate, but maybe in the near future, if you have it, man, we could definitely debate, man. We can probably debate during the season or like late in the season, whatever you prefer. I know you got a busy schedule, but
Yeah,
it's good to.
let me know. I'm pretty open.
Okay, man.
I just got to take care of my kids' stuff, and that's pretty much it. So, go
Done.
Niners, baby.
All right, man. Thank you, man. Me and Derek Smith are out. Like always, go Niners.
All right.
All right.